Hi, good afternoon to everyone. This is Shiv Kumar sir. Last class we have started that probability. Uh, Today I discuss in Hindi or English language, both it will be mixed. देखो probability में हम लोग डिस्कस किए थे that is a sample space for coin case, and the sample space for coin case it's a 2 raised to n. And if you are tossing a coin odd number of times, the sample space will be 2 raised to n minus 1. Or else if you are tossing a coin even number of times, the sample space will be 2 raised to n minus 1. So we know that the probability of any event, it is given as outcomes by sample space. So that outcomes will call it is favorable outcomes divided by a sample space. So favorable outcomes is indicated by m by n. So probability of any event, it is given as m by n. So you remember that probability of any event, it could be maximum equal to 1 or it's a minimum equal to 0. So probability of occurring of any event, it is given by m by n. So there is a 3 theorems are there in that. Let me to finish first of all 3 theorems. So we are going to discuss theorem 1, and theorem 1 is called here complement theorem. Complement theorem means probability of any event plus probability of occurring of means P E bar. It is given as 1. P of E plus P of E bar is equal to 1. So this is a complement, yani that is a P of E bar, that is a does not occur plus occurring of event, that must be equal to 1. If I tell you probability of getting a head is 1 by 2, so probability of getting a not head is what? It's a 1 by 2. Kyunki probability of not getting a head, that when we can find out by 1 minus 1 by 2, because we know that the total probability is equal to 1 here. So this is the theorem 1. Similarly, we have a theorem 2. So theorem 2, we are going to name it as it's a addition theorem. So addition theorem, I am going to discuss for dependent events. Let A and B are dependent events. If they are dependent events, so let us consider that the sample space here, this is a S is a sample space. S here it is a sample space. So let us consider there are the 2 events and they are dependent. So this is the event A and this is the event B. And this is the sample space S. So see this part, it's a common in both of them. So it is named as an intersection. Intersection means always remember and or both. This part is given as only A. Only A means the B events are not there, and that is indicated by A minus B. Probability of A minus B. Similarly, this part is given as only B. So it won't contain the A event. So it is given as B minus A. So it is written in terms of probability, it's a P of B minus A. So see, P of B minus A will be equal to, I can say that P of B minus P of A intersection B. And you have to remove this part. Similarly, P of A minus B is written as P of A minus P of A intersection B. So here, if I tell you only A, then you need to apply this formula. Or if I tell you here only B, you need to apply here this formula. But here if I tell you like probability of occurring of at least one event, probability of occurring of at least one event. So minimum one event it should occur, maximum it could be 2. maximum it could be 2. So this one is given as probability of A union B. A union B means this full part. It's a A union B. So this A union B is given as probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Yani you add it probability of A plus probability of B. In that way, you are adding A intersection B twice. So you need to subtract once. So it's a minus A intersection B. So this is a union. Union means, remember that it's a OR. OR means it's a addition. And intersection means and means here multiplication. So when these two events are dependent, so we have this formula for occurring of at least one event. If I am saying like if A and B are independent events, no, if A and B are not independent, let's say that if A and B are mutually exclusive event, mutually exclusive events. So mutually exclusive events means probability of A intersection B, it will be equal to 0. See, mutually exclusive event means there's no common event, but the sample space will be same for both events. It's the same for both events. But if I tell you independent event, if A and B are independent event, it means what? Both events have a different sample space. If I am assuming this is the event A, so this one has a different sample space, that is a S1, and this one is event B, so this event has a S2 sample space. So that are the here independent events. That are the independent events. Okay, so look at here. If A and B are independent event, then both the events will have a different sample space. So I'll take the case for independent event also. So the previous one, and this theorem is called here addition theorem. Addition theorem. Next, I'll discuss here multiplication theorem. Multiplication theorem. Theorem for independent events. Multiplication theorem for independent events. First of all, I'll assume here dependent events. After that, I'll take it here for independent events. Okay, just a minute. Okay, dependent events. So see, in multiplication theorem, there's one theorem is there that is called conditional probability. See, conditional probability is indicated by P of A by B. So this one is named as probability of occurring of an event A when B is already occurred. So that is given as probability of A by B. Means B event is already occurred in past, and we are finding the probability of event A in present. Similarly, B by A is given as, so first of all, I'll write down the formula for this one. It's given as, it's A by B. Okay, I'll erase it here. Just okay, so it's a probability of A by B is given as A intersection B divided by P of B. Similarly, the P of B by A is given as probability of A intersection B divided by P of A. So P of B by A is named as probability of occurring of an event B when event A is already occurred in past. So see, these two are the conditional probability that is for dependent events. If I'm assuming that let event A and B are independent events. So independent event means probability of occurring of A by B, it will be equal to P of A. Yeah, probability of occurring of B by A is given as P of B. Yani it means it won't depend on event A here and it won't depend on event B. So if you take it any one of the theorem, so probability of A intersection B divided by P of B. So this one I can write on P of A is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of B. And if finally I can write down that P of A intersection B is a P of A into P of B. So here it is in multiplication. So remember that if A and B are independent events, so this is a and means here you need to apply into sign. So P of A into P of B. This is the theorem is here. Similarly, we also saw that if A and B are mutually exclusive events, then in that case A intersection B is equal to 0. So this union theorem, it will become P of A plus P of B. So this union, it will become OR. So it's a P of A plus P of B is equal to P of A plus P of B. So if there's a two events are there, it will be P of A plus P of B. Similarly, if three events are there, A union B union C, and if all the events are mutually exclusive events, so in that case, the formula will be P of A plus P of B plus P of C. This is the formula. So these are the three important formula for the probability. Now we'll apply the next application of these three important formula. So we are going to discuss the application. So application means we'll take the first of all here coin case, and in coin we'll check it here, like if a coin is tossed 4 times, then what is the probability of getting 3 heads? What is the probability of getting 3 heads? To see, if you are tossing a coin here 4 times, then the sample space will be 2 raised to 4 and it will be equal to 60. But here probability of getting 3 heads means there should be a 3 times head and the one time it should be tail. The one time it should be tail here. One time it should be tail. Now this one you can arrange it by how many ways? So there's a 4 letter is there. So 4 letter you can arrange it by 4 factorial, and there's a 3 heads are there. So that is a 3 factorial, and 1 tail means 1 factorial. And this one is written as 4C3. So whenever if you want like a probability of getting a 3 heads, always you apply the combination. So probability of getting a head, that is a 3 times, it is given as 4C3 divided by 2 raised to 4. So 4C3 value is a 4 and 2 raised to 4 is 16. It's a 1 by 4 is right answer. 1 by 4 is right answer. Similarly, like if I tell you in that only, if a coin is tossed 4 times, then what is the probability of getting 2 head? So 2 head means the answer will be here 4C2, because there will be 2 times head and the 2 times it will be tail. So it's a 4C2 divided by 2 raised to 4. So this is the first type of question we have discussed. In that only, if I tell you, second question, what is the probability of getting, what is the probability of getting heads turn up more than tail? Head means ज्यादा number of times turn करना चाहिए compared to tail. तो देखो हम लोग यहाँ पे coin we are tossing here 4 times. So 4 times means 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 1, 3, and 4. So see here the case will be like head should turn up more than tail. It means head को 3 बार turn करना चाहिए, 1 बार tail होना चाहिए. Head अगर 2 बार turn करता है तो the tail will be 2 times. यानी head should turn up thrice and the tail should be 1. तो देखो head 1 बार turn करना चाहिए 3 times, then the tail will be 1 time. Next time the head should turn up 4 times, then the tail will turn up 0 times. तो देखो head जब turn करेगा 3 times out of 4 times, तो it is written as 4C3. Now these two are independent events. It means they are mutually exclusive. ये दोनों के बीच का कोई common नहीं है. It's a mutually exclusive. Then you add it here plus. Now 4 times head turn करना चाहिए, तो it means 4C4 divided by 2 raised to 4. So 4C3 value is a 4 and 4C4 value is 1 divided by 16. The answer will be here 5 by 16 is the right answer. So these are the tricks we can apply here in coin case. Directly we can apply the combination formula, and combination formula, everyone please try to remember that NCR factorial is given as n minus r factorial into r factorial. Into here r factorial. So if I tell you here, and also you remember that NCR value, it is equal to n minus r. Why? If I am saying here 5C2 value, so 5C2 will be equal to 5C3. You take the difference of 5 and 2 and write down here. So these two will be always equal. If you simplify here, you will get the values, it will be the same value. So thank you. Today I'll keep this much only for today's, and in the next class I'll continue here.